Hey guys, Austin here from the Benefits Enrollment Center, back with another training video for today. Today we're going to be looking at the Mississippi SNAP application and how to fill it out. So let's jump on in. Alright, so here we have the Mississippi SNAP application. So we got this top portion up here. It's going to contain your basic information, as in name, social security number, date of birth, that type of information. So the first thing you'll put down is name, and then next is social security number. You don't have to jump right to this one if you don't want to. Some people may feel uncomfortable with that being literally the second question you ask them for the application. And so sometimes what I do is I'll actually skip over social security number and go straight to date of birth and then the address, and then I'll come back to social. Another cool tip for you as well with the social is when you get to social, instead of asking them out loud to tell you their social security number, typically a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take the application, I'll flip it around towards them, I'll hand them the pen, and I'll say, would you like to fill in this blank for me real quick? So you're not even saying social security number out loud. So if there's anybody around you that might be listening in, they're not going to hear it. It makes the client feel more comfortable as well, and a little bit more willing to give it. If they do not feel comfortable giving you the social security number, we can still take it. However, it is going to slow down the process greatly for the client. So we highly advise the client to go ahead and give us a social security number so they can speed the process up for them. So then you got your name, your social security number, date of birth, and then for the address, it asks for the residence address, which is also physical address, and then the mailing address. If the person is homeless, then what we ask is that you'll put homeless in resident address spot, but then still go ahead and fill in the city, state, and zip of where they're residing currently, because we will need that information in order to submit it to Mississippi DHS. And then if they are homeless, in the mailing address, if they have a trusted friend, family member, or if you guys are okay with them using your address, I basically tell the client, do you have somebody that you know of that you're related to, you're friends with, that when they receive your mail, that you know they're going to make sure that you get that mail from them? If they have somebody like that in their life, they can put that address down right there to receive their mail. They will need an address to be able to receive their EBT card in the mail, so they're going to need some kind of address to put right there. Next is going to be phone number, and then either cell, yes or no, second phone number, and then alternate person to contact as well. If they would like to receive paperless notices, you can mark yes or no. If they mark yes, obviously they're going to need that email address to go along with it in order to receive those. And then what benefits are you applying to receive? You guys are going to mark SNAP right there. And then as we continue on with the first page, down at the bottom of the first page is going to be the spot where they have to actually sign and date it. You can go ahead and get them to do that now, or if you want to skip over this and come back and get them to do it at the end of the application, that is okay as well. But they'll sign and date it. If they are not physically able to sign their name and they have to mark it with either an X or a check due to whatever reason, then you guys can signature that you witnessed them signing it by the mark. But if they can sign their name, you guys do not have to sign it at all. All right, so now we're going to jump on down to page 2. Don't worry about the box at the top. That's for DHS. So we have income. So the top portion right here, this is going to be any kind of income that they receive, wages, tips, bonuses. If they work, that's the income that they're going to put right there. So yes, no, if yes, how much per month. They don't do paycheck per paycheck or per hour. If it's yes, then you put how much they're going to make per month, or at least an estimation on how much they're going to make per month. And then the second one is asking about any kind of income that is unearned. So like Social Security, retirement, any disability, VA benefits, child support. There's a list that goes right there. Anything that can kind of fall into that will go right there. Anything that's unearned, gifted to them. If so, you'll put yes, and then how much there also. And then the next one is asking about any income later this month. If they are, put yes, and then how much. And then the last dot in here is going to be is your household's income from migrant or seasonal farm work? And if it is, yes. If it's not, no. Simple, straightforward right there. All right, and then under resources, this is going to be about bank account information, just cash on hand, checking, saving account, anything like that. If they have it, then you'll mark yes. Important thing to note here is if they have a bank account, but they have zero or negative balance on that bank account, go ahead and mark yes and put, if it is yes and they don't have any money right there, or they're negative, put a 0. This will help them with the process of receiving the benefits, because that lets them know that they have a bank account, they just don't have any money in it, and that looks good on their application. So if they have a bank account, whether they have money in it or not, mark yes. If they do have money in it, put how much is in it. If they don't, just put a 0 right there, letting them know they do have a bank account. All right, and then moving on to expenses. The expenses are straightforward. Rent or mortgage, how much that is monthly, electricity, gas, that's natural gas, water and phone bill. All of those are going to be how much are they paying monthly for those right there. Okay. Do you or anyone you are applying for pay for care of a dependent child or disabled household member? Yes or no? And then the next one's going to be, does anyone 60 years of age or older or disabled have medical expenses that exceed $35 a month? Now, the important thing to note about this is that it has to be consecutive. If they are consecutively paying over $35 every month, then mark yes. It also has a list of examples of what they can use for that. In order for this to help them get more benefits back, though, they will have to submit proof that they are paying for each of those things. So like receipts, anything like that. If it's a doctor visit, if it's transportation to a doctor's office, then what they'll actually need is the doctor's office themselves will have to write a letter saying this person traveled this many miles from their house to the hospital in order to come for this appointment. And that's how they can submit that kind of information for proof. All right, and then you have your additional questions. Most of this is just kind of straightforward. You just run through it and check yes or no. Are you deaf, hearing impaired, or in need of interpreter services? Yes or no. Has anybody in the household currently serving SNAP disqualification due to fraud? Yes or no. Pretty straightforward. You can just read through those and mark yes or no as you're going. And then once you get down to number 8, if you are not registered to vote where you live right now, would you like to apply to register to vote here today? You can mark yes or no. This does not affect their application process. It's just a nice thing that they put on here to give them that option if they would like to. But it's basically just going to send them information on how to register to vote. So yeah. All right, now on to page 3. So on page 3, this is going to be 2 big boxes right here that have 2 differences. The top portion is going to be anybody in the household that buys and prepares food together. So if you have mom, dad, and kids living in the same household and they're buying and preparing food together, they all go on that first box. But if you have, say, somebody living with a roommate and they buy their food and prepare their food separate from their roommate buys their own food and prepares their own food, then the person applying for the benefits would go in the first box, and then the roommate would go in the second box. So that's how that works. That's kind of the split. You'll see some different kind of situations that may pop up, and you might not be sure where to put each of these. That's okay. You can always call us if you have a weird situation and you're just not sure where to put somebody, and we can talk you through that real quick and easily do that. All right, and then after you've done that, you jump down to the SNAP authorized representative. So this is somebody that they can put down to help with the interview process of the application. For example, if you've got someone that is working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and there's just no way they're going to be able to take that phone call during work hours, then if they have somebody in their family that they trust to actually do the interview process for them, they can put their name down and phone number down right there, and DHS can contact them to finish the application process for them. And then below it, the SNAP benefit representative, what this is this is somebody that will also receive an EBT card for the primary that has the same amount of benefits. It's the same benefits, comes from the same place as the primary, to be able to go and buy food on behalf of that person. So a great example of this would be if you have a senior that is homebound that cannot get out and go buy food, then they can put, if they have a family member, friend, or a nurse, home nurse, that can go and purchase their food for them, then they can put their name and phone number down right there to receive a card to be able to go purchase food on their behalf. Okay, and then we're going to move on down to the last page right here. This is, I understand that I can receive a copy of this completed SNAP application, and I choose either paper, electronic, or decline a copy. If they check electronic, make sure, go back and make sure that you have an email address, because if there's no email address and they select electronic, they're not going to get an email. And you'd be surprised at how many people select electronic and don't provide an email. So make sure you go back and check that email address to make sure that there is an email that can be used for this. Okay, but they can either check paper, that'll be through snail mail, electronic, or if they don't want a copy at all, they can hit decline a copy. If none of these boxes are checked, then we will go ahead and select paper and send them a paper application, just assuming that maybe they missed this portion of the application, or you guys missed the portion of the application, and we want to make sure that they're getting a copy of the application if they possibly wanted one. And so we'll go ahead and select paper so that DHS will send them a paper copy of their application. All right, and then here is the last place for them to sign: household member signature or mark by X. Again, same situation. If the client cannot physically write out their name, then they can mark it with either an X or a check mark, and then date it, and then you guys will witness if signed by Mark. If they can physically sign, there is no need whatsoever for you to sign that witness if signed by Mark. You guys don't have to sign a single thing on this application. The penalty warning and all that is above as well, if they would like to read through that, or you can just kind of summarize it as they're reading it. But either way will work. All right, so that is the Mississippi SNAP application. Pretty simple process. Again, if you have any questions, you can feel free to call us at 877-833-2550. That's the number to our Benefits Enrollment Center number. And we have agents on the phone from 8 to 4 every day, willing to take phone calls to be able to help you guys out, or to be able to help a client out in the process. So I hope this video was informational for you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.